It could have been over right there in the beginning. Welcome back to Dramatic Evaluation. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Netflix movie Apex, starring Taron Edgerton and Charlize Theron. Please hook me up and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment. And by the way, if you think I'm wearing pants, insane. So this movie just came out on Netflix. Very solid movie. I was looking forward to this movie coming out because I love Taron Edgerton. He's one of my favorite actors right now. I love him and everything he's in. He's an incredible actor, and just the setting and genre and everything about this movie looked cool, and I knew I was gonna like it, so I knew I wanted to watch it. It came out last night, April 24th, and spoiler alert, I am gonna be talking about enough points of the plot that it is would be considered spoilers. So if you don't want that to be the case, watch the movie first, then watch this video. Otherwise, you've been warned. So let's get into it. All right, so general plot and overview, but also some detail in here. The movie opens with Charlize and Eric Bana, who I didn't know was going to be in the movie, and barely is. They're a couple. They do like extreme sports. They're climbing the face of this huge rock wall, whatever mountain. And long story short, he falls and is unconscious, and it's dragging her down, and she has to kind of make the choice. I thought she just straight up couldn't hold it anymore and dropped him. I think that kind of was what was happening, but I think later she alludes to having to make the choice because he was dragging them both down. And so she needed to release the weight so that she wouldn't die too. Because, yeah, she definitely carried some guilt with that decision. So I guess that was kind of what that was in the beginning there. Then it cuts to not too long in the future after that, where she's kind of off by herself. She's in Australia in the just wilderness and just kind of doing these extreme sports things to get her mind off of that or whatever, I don't know, but that's just kind of the lifestyle she lives. And she runs into Taron Edgerton at a gas station, who kind of helps her out with these kind of jerk dudes who are like, hey, pretty lady in town, and just creeping on her. He's kind of like, hey man, like, get out of here. So he kind of comes off as the good guy. You think he's like a nice guy. And then he kind of directs her to where like it was a good camping spot. She goes there. Those jerk dudes show up again and are just continuing to creep her out. So then she goes to sleep. She wakes up and all her stuff is gone. And she's like, what the heck? She's kind of walking around in the woods and finds Taron Edgerton's little camp. And long story short, there's a turn where Taron Edgerton is like, yeah, I'm going to hunt you. So ultimately, this movie is about Taron Edgerton being the apex predator, hunting humans, and he does this with a bunch of people have gone missing in this area, and it's tourists and stuff that go missing, and it's because he kills them. She finds out later that he kills them and turns them into jerky and sells it, and people eat that jerky. And she, I think, mentions that she had his jerky from the gas station, and so she ate that human meat. So nasty. So yeah, then the rest of the movie is just kind of like a chase where she's trying to get away and survive this dude hunting her. So that's what it is. There's a moment where she first is on the run, and like he sets a little trap for her. He puts a phone with a video of like this other family that he killed, and we see their bodies later, and that's when she learns of the jerky making process. She just falls for his trap immediately. She just like picks up the phone and is like out in the open, and then an arrow like shoots right by her head. It could have been over right there in the beginning, like if he was a better shot or maybe he was playing with her or something. But what an idiot. You fall for that trap immediately. You just pick the phone. Obviously left the phone playing a video for you to like come out and be distracted out in the open for him to like take his shot. What are you doing picking that up and doing that? So that was kind of ridiculous of her to do that, because otherwise she's a pretty like, you know, good survival instincts and good knowledge of, you know, outdoor survival stuff. So that choice was real dumb. Another real dumb choice, by the way, of hers was she kind of gets away from that situation, and then she comes upon like his camp again, where he's like swinging naked into the river on a rope, and she sees his little boat there. So she's a bold move, starts like swimming across the river to his boat. He's like right there, like 20 feet away, swinging on this rope. Like a super bold move to try to do that. I would go the opposite direction if I saw that and I was in her shoes. But yeah, she wanted to get the boat. When she gets to the boat, there's like a bear trap or something under the water that she steps on, and then it's like on a chain or whatever. So that he runs over after hearing her set off the trap and scream. What are the? First of all, yeah, idiot, you got caught. Why would you? He's right there. That's, like I said, a bold move to go attempt that. But really, like, of all the, first of all, you're swimming, okay? How much do you need to like step on the ground? And if you are stepping on the ground, there's all this area around. Like, there just happens to be one bear trap thing, like one spot under the boat, and she just hits it. Like, kind of convenient there, but whatever. But so then he's kind of like yanking on the trap. He gets her, then later she gets away, but they're like tied to each other somehow on this line. They like go down the river and then like get down a waterfall, and then they kind of fight, and then she straight breaks his leg, jacks his leg, bone popping out. And so basically he's going to be left there to die unless she helps him out. And they're somehow, like, they've gone down the waterfall. They're in this like contained area, I guess, where the only way to get out of it is to climb up this big rock face. And in the beginning she was struggling with like getting over this like backwards like lip overhang thing. So of course at the end there's that at the top of the wall that she's gonna have to like overcome. She kept falling in the beginning. You know, the ropes would like save her, but she kept trying and failing. So obviously at the end of this movie, oh yeah, she has to try to succeed and get over that overhang, which of course she does. But on the climb up, she rigs this, like, quite frankly, I don't understand why she needed him. Like, I don't know how climbing works, so I guess you need like a counterweight or something maybe to of why she was like, I can't do this alone, I need you with me. But he has a broken leg, so she just rigs up this like harness for him to like use one leg and then use his arms to like kind of inch his way up the line. I guess that's my ignorance of not understanding how climbing works, but really, truly don't understand why that was necessary, why she couldn't just leave him for dead. So yeah, I don't know. Help me out, leave a comment if you know why I'm dumb and that is what's up. But so she gets to a point up there, and this kind of furthers my point here, actually. She gets to a point where she's like, oh, I'm gonna, like, she goes up, he catches up, she goes up, he catches up. She gets to a point where, oh, I'm gonna tie his line to this like loose branch, so when he tries to go up, he's gonna like fall and die. It's like, okay, well then that means you don't need him to climb the rest of the way. So like, why did you need him to climb at all? So yeah, I just, again, don't understand that. Anyway, does that, and he's like, sees what she's doing, and he's like, starts freaking out and starts like yanking down her line to like pull her off, and she's like hanging on the thing, and then she loosens her harness so that he just pulls the harness off, and then she undoes the rope and he falls to his death. And then she's left with no line and is like free soloing and has to get up over that overhang, and then she does. And then yeah, it's essentially the end of the movie. She finds the road, there's headlights. I thought it was gonna be those jerk dudes from the beginning of like, oh my gosh, she just got through all this and now she's gonna deal with these guys coming up. Like, is she gonna like fight them? Like, what's gonna happen here? But it was just some lady who saved her and brought her back to the ranger office or whatever it was, where she then like reports all the missing bodies and stuff. And so then those families have closure, and, you know, helicopters go and discover all the bodies that she led them to or whatever. Real quick, forgot to mention, there's like a moment where he takes these dentures off. So like his real teeth that he reveals are like shaved down or whatever, like spikes. Looks like a demon in a horror movie or something with his just like spiky, jagged teeth. And he makes all these like animal noises all the time, like weird little bird calls and like screeches and screams and stuff. So he's obviously messed up in the head, but like thinks of himself, I guess, as just some like animalistic, like ultimate apex predator that kills humans and eats humans. But then he puts the dentures back on, I guess, because you never see that again the rest of the movie, and it's never a thing. So I don't know, that was weird. Honestly, I don't know why I don't think they needed to do that. I guess that's just like one other layer or level of him being a psychopath and doing the weird, crazy stuff that he's doing out there to people and stuff. So, you know, whatever. It was a detail they added in that I could have done without, or, you know, I'm not mad about it being there either. It's like, whatever. And the length of this movie, it was an hour and 35 minutes. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what's up. Make movies that are an hour and a half. Get right through it. It's not dragging. There's not much time for wasted scenes when you have that length of a movie, so there aren't too many, you know, there were some shots or like some sequences where it was kind of like nothing was happening, but it was just showing like beautiful settings, like beautiful shots, good cinematography, all that, like, so it wasn't dragging too much, like you're getting to the next thing, and just having this story unfold, and that's what I'm talking about. Get your dream sequences out of here, get your long, boring, nothing scenes out of here, just condense everything into an hour and a half, and don't make me sit there for 3 hours watching boring stuff. So loved that about it, and really just enjoyed this movie. So for my rating, I gave this an 8.6. Like I said, really enjoyed it. This was a good intro in the movie, good setup for what this was going to be. Good setting. I liked how, this is my type of movie. I love this kind of like thriller movie set out in the wilderness, survival, like trying to survive not only the setting of the wilderness, but this person hunting you and trying to kill you. And, it's just, I love that. That's my type of movie. It was a good turn, like when that happened, like, because he's set up in the beginning, or you see him in the beginning as like a nice guy who's like helping her out. And then the turn happens and he puts that music on. He's like dancing around all weird while she's like running away, and he's giving her the head start. Very, very, first of all, awesome. I loved that part, but very akin to Dangerous Animals. This movie made my top 10 movies of 2025 last year. Actually at number 4. This was my number 4 favorite movie of 2025, Dangerous Animals. If you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. Some similar crossover with this movie here and there, but like definitely with that moment where the villain is just like putting on music and is just dancing creepy and weird, and you're just like, what is wrong with this dude? But it's a real cool like scene to watch. So I liked that they had that in there, and that was pretty sweet. So yeah, overall really solid movie. Definitely recommend this one. It just came out on Netflix. If you're looking for something to watch, this one is a good, entertaining thriller movie, and I don't think will be disappointed if you like that type of movie. So that's it for my review of the Netflix movie Apex. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you want me to cover next. Stay tuned. Until next time.